All right, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the Simple Scorecard. And in the words of W. Edwards Deming, without data, you're just another person with an opinion. And we want you to get out of the emotional way of managing your business and growing your business. We want you to use data to help inform your decisions and make a much more effective decision-making process for yourself and grow your business in terms of customers, revenue, profits, and valuation. And this spreadsheet is going to let us look at a number of different data points to help give you a better, more informed picture of how your business is performing and what you can do to make decisions based on this data to improve all of those categories. So the Simple Scorecard is a tool that contains 40 different metrics concerning your business performance and your performance, including things like days out of office, your estimated valuation, numbers of employees, existing customers, lifetime value of those customers, how many leads you're generating on a regular basis, the conversion rate of converting those leads into paying customers, inputs to your profit and loss statement, such as your revenue, your expenses, the cost of goods sold. Calculations exist inside the spreadsheet to help to perform the math on the things that we know about, including your gross profit, gross margin, net profit, net margin, your break-even analysis. We're able to conduct a break-even analysis within the spreadsheet, and also keep track of other assets that help determine the value of your business, including your inventory, your fixtures, furniture and equipment, real estate owned, real estate notes, vehicles owned, vehicle notes, securities, intellectual property, and then, of course, how well you're utilizing the equipment that you have in your business. So we're going to take a moment and go straight into looking at the spreadsheet, and then we've got some homework for you at the end, and bear with me. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is download the scorecard. Now, you have two options, of course, to download it. The first is by downloading it from the course materials. In this section, there's another lecture called the Scorecard Excel Spreadsheet or Excel Workbook, and you can download it from here, or you can go to www.robertgreenmba.com/scorecard. You'll be presented with a page that looks just like this, and you simply click on the Download Here button. It'll give you a chance to download it and open the spreadsheet. I'll bring it into view here. First thing that we'll need to do is enable editing. This spreadsheet is yours at this point, and you are able to document anything that you want or change anything that you want in this spreadsheet. I'm going to go through this column by column to show you exactly what we have available to us. And as a hint to how this worksheet will help you, we have a couple indicators across the top, including an absolute improvement value, a relative improvement value, and a spark line, which shows a general trend or the trend of your data for each column that is appropriate to have these indicators. Also within your data, you'll see that improving values will receive a green colored background, light green background with a heavy green font, indicating that's good, you want to continue doing that. And data that is going in the wrong direction or needs immediate attention will be highlighted in red with a red background and dark red font. But as we start going through this data, we see that the columns start on row 6, and there is an example data on row 7. This example data, I want to talk about this for just a moment before we start going into the individual columns, allows us to both see what is expected for each column, but also allows us to experiment with potential impacts based on our changes that we're going to learn about throughout this course. So keep an eye on that. We'll talk about it. We'll be using this worksheet throughout this course, and we're going to go through and start covering each of the columns. So bear with me. This will take a few minutes, but the very first column that we're going to enter any data in is in column B. This is the date column. This is the date that you're going to start capturing data, or that you start capturing data. The point here is you need to create, and it is part of your homework, create a weekly recurring meeting for yourself, 30 minutes every week, same time, so that you can capture and analyze the data of your business. And we'll take that 30 minutes. You're going to schedule that meeting today for your first meeting, and then start capturing data in row 8. This is going to be your homework assignment. We'll talk about it again at the end. But your very first date will be today's date. And then we're going to start adding data over to the right of this spreadsheet. The next column is days out of office. If our goal is to switch from owner-operator to an owner, we need to get you out of the business. And part of that is measuring how many days do you spend out of the office, or out of your store, out of your shop, out of your business altogether. So we keep track of this. And this is going to be an indicator of how well your business will run without you. This is not a bad thing, because we really want your business to be able to be operable and sustainable and grow without you being present. The next column is our estimated valuation. How successful is your business is often a function of what you could sell your business for today. Now, you may not have a valuation that is appropriate or even understood at this point, but we will get you to the point where you can understand what your valuation is based on a couple common attributes of this spreadsheet. And this is not a bona fide, certified, broker-based analysis. This is just a simple function to calculate the valuation of your business at 2.5 times your annual revenue plus your FF&E plus your inventory. Of course, additional assets could be used to help calculate this value, but we've left those out intentionally to keep it simple. Next two columns, number of managers and number of employees. This is a way to indicate the health of your business and whether you have enough help to manage and run your business without you being present. It also is a function of your sales and fulfillment capabilities as well. So we'll keep track of these numbers, and hopefully these numbers will grow as we go through this course, and you'll start to see that having help is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to freeing your time and allowing you to grow your business. The next column is the number of customers in your database. This, how many customers do you have today that you keep track of, that you could call on to come back to you at any time, or they come to you on a regular basis? This number we want to grow. We want it to grow exponentially. We want customers to be advocates for your products and services and help increase your pipeline of future customers, which leads us to the next column, which is our lifetime value of a customer. What is it that they spend with you on in their lifetime? How long are they a customer for? These are things that we will want to keep track of. We want to both extend the lifetime and increase the value of each particular customer. The next column is in leads. How many people give you permission to talk to them? That is website visitors, inbound phone calls, referrals, people who stop by your store, your shop, or your office. These are people that are asking to engage with you and want to know more about your business and how you can help solve their problem. The next column is conversion rate. How many of your leads are converted into paying customers? So this number can also be modified through behaviors that we will talk about in this course to increase the number of conversions from lead to customer. The next column is the transactions per customer. How many times are they coming in to buy something during this period? Now, most customers are only going to buy one time, and that's fine. But this is just an average. The next column, column L, is the average cost of the product or service that you sell, or a basket of products and services that you sell to the average customer. The next column is your average price. Average price is an indication of how much you receive. The difference between the price and the cost is called your contribution margin. And that contribution margin is going to be used in other calculations throughout the spreadsheet, including your break-even analysis, your total cost of goods sold, and your gross revenue. Matter of fact, the next column is gross revenue. Gross revenue is the total amount of all sales that come into your business this period. Now we're looking at a week, which is a very fine-grained level of detail. But this is going to help us dramatically in understanding how to grow and react to our business. Most data you're going to collect is probably going to be monthly right now. We want to increase that to weekly, by the way, so that you do get that finer control and can react to problems faster. The next column is our revenue per employee. So if you are the only employee for your business, all the revenue is your responsibility. But if you have multiple people that are bringing in sales, then they contribute to the revenue, and that number can be modified, and you can learn to effectively leverage talent for increasing that revenue per employee, especially if not everybody is working towards fulfillment or sales. Next column is any corrections, adjustments, and returns to your gross revenue. Hopefully this is a very small number. We don't want you to have a lot of returns. If it's not a small number, we want to track it so that we can do something about it. Maybe we can improve the quality of your products, improve the manufacturing process, improve your customer satisfaction in other ways that prevent them from returning these products, or if they're damaged, prevent them from not being sold as inventory, sellable inventory. This brings us to our net revenue, of course, and our net revenue is the difference between our revenue, gross revenue, and any of the corrections and returns. The net revenue is an absolute number, and then we start talking about the very first relative number, which is net gross margin. We have gross profit and gross margin. Gross profit being the difference between our revenue and our cost of goods sold. And that net margin, gross margin is the relative value of the gross profit into your net revenue. Next column is expenses. And of course, we're tracking expenses at the week level, and this is not going to be very level, I'm sure. It's going to be a little bit more spiky in terms of the data than we see with some of the other columns, and that's expected, so don't worry about that. Your net profit, of course, is the function of your gross profit minus expenses. When we have gross profit minus expenses, we get the net profit, and we take that net profit and divide it into the net revenue, and we get our net margin. Beyond that, we've got two columns for our break-even analysis. The break-even analysis, of course, takes the expenses that we have to cover for the week and divides that in by the contribution margin. That's the price between, or the amount of money between the price and the cost of that product or service that you sell. And then we also have a break-even unit per person in the event that you wanted to calculate the number of items that you have to sell, or each individual has to sell, in order to help make that break-even point. The next three columns have to do with cash flow, and that's the amount of dollars in accounts receivable, the amount of dollars in accounts payable, and your free cash flow. We've got a couple more columns to go over here. Next is our inventory levels. We wanted to find out how much money we have invested in our inventory at any given time and analyze why we have as much inventory as we do or why we don't have enough inventory to help cover our sales. And we'll talk about that in a future lesson as well. The next column is on FF&E. This FF&E, that's our furniture, fixture, and equipment that is used to help identify that where your money is in terms of using furniture and equipment to help operate your business. The next few columns, we have real estate as the next two, actually. Real estate value, that's the market value of real estate, and real estate notes, how much you owe on that real estate. The next column is vehicles. I'm sorry, the next column is intellectual property. Defensible intellectual property, that's patents, trademarks, design patents, whatever is defensible in terms of intellectual property, any training materials that you have, licensing materials that you can provide others that generate revenue. Vehicles, any vehicle assets that you have, and any vehicle notes. Next, we talk about key equipment. Key equipment is any machinery that you have that you need to run. And there's three numbers that we want to look at: the value of that equipment, the number of hours that equipment runs in any particular period. In this case, we're talking about a week, and the revenue per hour, per running hour. So those three numbers are numbers that we want to track for any key pieces of equipment. And lastly, we have any other assets that your company may own. And that is the summary of the scorecard. Now, again, we're going to be covering this over and over and over again throughout the course, different aspects throughout the course. But for your homework this week, we want you to first create your recurring meeting to capture and analyze your data, and start off by populating row 8. Row 8 is bolded. That's your baseline data. And we want to capture that information. This is yours. You're not sharing it with anybody else. Your data is not going anywhere, so you can do what you will want with it. But the more information that you track, the more successful you will be at controlling the future of your business. Now, that's all for this lesson, and I look forward to seeing you in the next.